Hello, thank you for joining me. You were most likely invited to Barnaje by one of your good friends to assist you in doing your due diligence about our initiative. Regardless of your initial thoughts or assumptions, I'm going to take you on a deep dive with full disclosure into what Barnaje is and what it is not to give you the information you require to make an informed decision. So, what is Barnaje? My name is Lynford Theobald, and I'm the founder of Barnaje. At 84 years of age, I have extensive experience in finance and business, which has given me both insights and wisdom along the way. Before launching Barnaje, I conducted thorough due diligence to ensure I understood how every element of the platform is designed to comply with all legal standards. My goal was to ensure Barnaje stands on solid legal foundations while providing a modern solution for raising capital. Interpreting legal matters is inherently complex, as legal issues are rarely straightforward. This is why governments, legislatures, courts, and legal professionals are responsible for creating and interpreting laws. I am not a lawyer, and please understand, I am in no way attempting to give legal advice. Barnaje is a revolutionary capital raising platform that combines the ancient practice of barn raising with modern blockchain technology. This video explains what Barnaje is, clarifies its legal compliance, and distinguishes it from similar models such as MLMs, gifting circles, crowdfunding, Ponzi, and pyramid schemes, as well as securities. This documents a historical overview of financial laws, explains how Barnaje complies with U.S. regulations, and includes full disclosure on the risks and rewards of participating in Barnaje and ensuring transparency in all aspects of the platform. Barnaje is the most cost-effective capital-raising platform ever created. You'll understand that in a moment. Barnaje represents an innovative, streamlined approach to capital raising. Here's what sets it apart. No fees. Barnaje charges no daily, weekly, monthly, or annual fees to members. No loans or debt. There are no loans with interest or principal to be paid back. No shareholders, investors, or partners. Direct donations. And this is the best part. You and up to two other members keep 100% of donations sent directly to you. Barnaje is structured to allow members to fully benefit from this community-driven approach without the financial burden of traditional capital-raising platforms. Barnaje introduces a new classification of financial activity, recognized as lawful under common law, much like the internet, crowdfunding, and cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Barnaje is engaged in raising capital and creating generational wealth, essential elements of any free market economy. We're modernizing an ancient practice. The ancient practice is an agrarian custom known as barn raising. Historically, community members would join together to help build a barn for one of their own, a tradition deeply rooted in the principles of generosity and mutual aid. Barnaje combines this ancient practice with cutting-edge 21st century technology such as computers, blockchain, decentralized finance, the internet, cryptocurrency, decentralized autonomous organizations, smart contracts, and Web 3.0. And by leveraging these technologies, Barnaje has revolutionized capital raising and generational wealth creation. It enables individuals to give and receive financial support through a decentralized, transparent, and efficient process. A path to generational wealth and personal growth. As members of Barnaje, you are given the opportunity to not only raise financial capital, but also enhance your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. You will learn the art of giving gratefully to the hopes and dreams of others and receiving with humility. How to improve relationships with family, friends, and business associates. how to discover and fulfill the true desires of your heart, how to expand your network of acquaintances and increase your influence. This wealth of knowledge is available to all community members at no cost through continuous mentoring. One of the primary purposes of merging these technologies with barn raising, especially blockchain and smart contracts, is to dramatically reduce or entirely eliminate the ability for humans to interfere in Barnaje financial matters by engaging in conscious or unconscious, fraudulent, or deceptive business and trade practices. Zero fees, no membership or license fees required. Traditional capital raising platforms charge up to 20%. The norm is 5 to 20%. How to join Barnaje? It's very simple. 4 steps. Do your due diligence first through full disclosure. 2, crypto setup. We create a decentralized wallet and connect to the smart contract. You sign an agreement. You accept the EULA. That's our end user license agreement and the terms thereof. And the activation. Donate 350 USDT to your sponsor's project. Now, what are the benefits of a smart contract? Peer-to-peer donations via smart contract, direct wallet-to-wallet transfers, 100% accuracy guaranteed, platform access, full website access, complete platform features, back office functionality, and this is the best part, 0 human interference, no fiduciary involvement, no escrow fees, and it's a fully automated process. Now, let's dive a little deeper. Let's get into the written and unwritten financial laws. I'm going to give you a historical perspective. Let's begin by talking about the written, the statutory, and unwritten, the common laws of financial activity, especially as they pertain to capital raising. But first, I must give you some history of financial laws and regulations. Please note that every law written about financial matters by every country in the world is fundamentally based on the giving of full disclosure, preventing fraud, and ensuring fair trading and business practices dating back to the 16th century. In 1602, the Amsterdam Stock Exchange was founded by the Dutch East India Company, and it's considered the world's first official stock exchange. And then, for over 200 years, it operated under self-regulation without any formal written laws. The Dutch Commercial Code of 1838 introduced, finally, some regulations for joint stock companies and securities trading, focusing on, again, full disclosure and preventing fraud. In 1585, the Frankfurt Stock Exchange started, and that dates back, way back, with modern regulations evolving 300 years later in the 19th and the 20th century. The London Stock Exchange traces its origins to 1698, when stock dealers began meeting in Jonathan's coffee house. Now, I can't imagine what that was like, but maybe you can. The first regulation was the Bubble Act in 1720. I think that's obvious what that means. But it was repealed in 1825 because it didn't accomplish its intended purpose. Now, let's talk about the United States. You know, the United States is the most regulated country in the world, and likely the most predatory regulations also. The United States, the New York Stock Exchange, was founded in 1792. Early regulation was minimal, with practices largely governed by self-regulation. Self-governing continued satisfactorily for 140 years until the Great Depression led to significant regulatory changes. The Securities Act of 1933 required full disclosure. Remember that word, full disclosure. You're going to see a lot of it today. Full disclosure of financial information, and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 established the Securities Exchange Commission, that's the SEC, to enforce the laws of 1933. Do you know what caused the Great Depression? Of course, the stock market crashed in 1929. That's obvious, isn't it? Well, what caused the crash? Or did it just crash on its own? There must have been some serious, fraudulent, unfair dealing going on to cause the U.S. government, after 140 years of successful self-regulation, to suddenly create the Securities Exchange Act of 33 and 34 and the SEC to enforce them. Well, you know, there's some very compelling evidence that men, very skilled in deceiving, lying, cheating, betraying, stealing, defrauding, and unfair business and trade practices, who are also very wealthy, powerful, and corrupt, simply planned and executed their plan to purposely crash the market for their own massive personal gains. And the same is also true of the mortgage meltdown that occurred in 2007 to 2010. Why Barnaje is lawful and legally compliant? The words crowdfunding, blockchain, and Bitcoin didn't exist in word or action before 2008 AD. They came along just recently in this century. However, these concepts have since become household terms and represent new classifications of financial activity that are lawful under common law. And that's where they began, under common law, because there were no laws regarding them. Common law, established in England in the year 1066 AD, is the foundation of free market capitalism and also the U.S. Constitution. The revitalization of the ancient practice of barn raising, combined with modern technology, has created a new classification of financial activity called Barnaje, or barnaging. This model is lawful under common law and the U.S. Constitution, operating as a private, free market, capitalist venture. Barnaging is lawful and legally compliant because each member participates with, here it is, full disclosure and voluntary choice. Members contribute a 350 USDT donation to support their sponsor's metaphorical barn with no expectation of a direct return from them. In turn, as they invite others into the system, those new participants will donate to them without any expectation of return also. The process emphasizes community-driven support rather than profit, and each donation is made under the free will of the participant. Each member is given full access to the Barnaje software and platform to use for creating generational wealth and raising capital for their own metaphorical barn. Each member has a full and equal opportunity to succeed or fail based solely on their own personal effort and performance. So, how do we comply with U.S. finance regulations? The U.S. government, the SEC, the FTC, and the USPIS, that's the U.S. Post Office Information Service, require all businesses to provide full disclosure in their business and financial dealings and to avoid engaging in fraudulent and deceptive business or trade practices. Certain specific regulations by the SEC and FTC are meant to determine if a particular business is operating as an illegal pyramid scheme. The regulations written by the FTC and SEC primarily refer to MLM, or multi-level marketing companies. And right below there is the reference for that. You can see that right here. Okay, right here where my highlighter is. Okay. All right, let's go to the next slide. Barnaje versus pyramid schemes and MLMs. Barnaje is sometimes compared to MLMs, that's multi-level marketing, and pyramid schemes, but it operates under a fundamentally different and legally compliant model. To help clarify these distinctions, let's look at the legal definition of a pyramid scheme as outlined in Section 5 of the FTC Act. According to the FTC, an unlawful MLM compensation structure, often referred to as a pyramid scheme, involves participants paying money to a company in exchange for two things: the right to sell a product and the right to earn rewards by recruiting other participants in the program unrelated to the sale of products to end users. This definition was solidified in the FTC's Coscott decision in Coscott Interplanetary Inc. 86 FTC, and there's the reference. You can go look it up, which highlighted the key issue in pyramid schemes. Participants are rewarded for recruitment rather than legitimate product sales or services. Barnage's response to Section 5 of the FTC. This is how we're different. In Barnage, members receive donations from other members directly through smart contracts without any intermediary or central authority. There are no rewards based solely on recruitment. Donations are peer-to-peer and tied to activities participating within the Barnage community. Barnage's model is transparent and avoids the pitfalls of MLM or pyramid scheme structures. Part 1, the right to sell a product. The right to sell a product. Barnage does not sell any product or service. Selling products or services does not inherently make a business legal, or the absence of a product or service does not make it illegal. The EULA and the Barnage platform might be considered a service, but Barnage does not sell it. Access is provided freely to all members. The right to receive rewards for recruiting. The right to receive rewards for recruiting other than participants into the program unrelated to product sales. According to the FTC, this part of the Act suggests that a business can be unlawful if the rewards for recruiting participants aren't tied to sale of products to end users. The common concern is that eventually companies following this model will run out of people to recruit, leading to failure for those joining later in the process. So let's clarify a little more here. Part 2 seems to be saying that it's illegal to be compensated for recruiting people in a manner unrelated to the sale of products to ultimate users, because eventually you run out of people to recruit, and the last people in won't be able to recruit anyone, and they're resulting in your loss. Exponential growth in Barnage. Understanding the reality. Let's talk about real stuff here now. A common concern with recruitment-based models is whether there will be enough people to sustain growth. Critics often suggest that systems will eventually run out of people to recruit, leading to collapse. However, these concerns are based on a misunderstanding of population growth and recruitment patterns. Let's address this concern today with full disclosure. Again, the word full disclosure. See, that's the basis of all laws, all financial laws in all countries. And that's what we're going to do. We're endeavoring to give you a full measure of full disclosure. At the current expected growth of Barnage and the current rate of population growth worldwide, you will never run out of people to enroll. That's a statement from Barnage, and that's what we stand on. Anyone who suggests otherwise is either misinformed or fails to provide full disclosure. Consider the following. According to data from Worldometers, the world population grows by approximately 48,256,086 people each year. This means millions of people turn 18 and enter the workforce looking for career opportunities and potentially platforms like Barnage. Now over here on the right, it shows it again. Under today versus this year, anticipated for the year 2024, 91,256,044 births, 43 million deaths. And you subtract that and you have a net population growth of 48,256,086. Given these statistics, Barnage members will never run out of people to invite into their community. The platform's sustainable model ensures that even as the community grows, new individuals will continuously enter adulthood, providing ample recruitment opportunities. Barnage's further response to exponential growth with full disclosure again. There's nothing illegal about recruiting another person into a community or system, provided that full disclosure is given with no deceptive practices are involved. The illegal aspect arises when individuals are not informed of the true purpose of recruitment or are misled about their potential involvement and the risks associated with the process. In Barnaje, full disclosure is provided at every stage, ensuring members are aware of the system structure and their role within it. When recruiters fail to provide the full picture regarding exponential growth and 100% per period compounding, they are being deceptive. Barnaje is designed to eliminate this risk through transparency and full disclosure. The Barnaje system, structured around donations and participation, avoids the pitfalls of traditional pyramid schemes by ensuring full transparency and tying all rewards to active engagement rather than passive recruitment. The following table illustrates how exponential growth theoretically works when each person recruits 2 more people, starting with just one individual. The table shows exponential doubling with each successive level, which is equivalent to 100% compounding per period. This also assumes that each person recruits one time only, 2, and no more than 2 people. All right, here we go. Let's get to the top of this thing here. Okay, one person. Well, that's one person, and he's going to get 2. So he gets his 2. And those 2 get their 2 at the 2 rate. That's 4 people. Okay, so those 2 got 4. In the third period, you got 4 people getting 2. That's 8. The fourth period, 8 people get 2. That's 16. 16 get 32. 32 get 64. 64 get 128. We're down to the 7th floor or level. 8. 128, 256, 9, 256, 512, and on and on and on and on. And down to the 17th floor, you got 65,000 people looking for 131,000. Well, that's still doable, not impossible. But what happens when we get out here, the 24th, the 25th, and down to the 28th, 29th, 32nd, you got 2 billion people theoretically looking for 2 people each. Now, the crazy thing that you didn't realize, that's only 4 billion people that got recruited. But the total that's recruited, if you add all of these up, all of them, it totals 8.5 billion people, and that's the population of the planet. And you can see you would have more than 2 billion people looking. Yeah, that's why it's theoretical, because it's never happened in real life, and it never will. Exponential growth in MLM. Let's look at what real life is in MLM. Amway was founded in 1959, and it's one of the earliest and most successful multi-level marketing companies. Over the past 65 years, they've likely had millions of distributors go in their door and out the back door. Yet there's never been a shortage of people to recruit. Over the past 65 years, and out of thousands of MLM and network marketing companies throughout the world, no company has ever reported that their distributors had been so successful, with everyone sponsoring 2 people. They now had 100 million or 500 million or even 1 billion people, and they were gravely concerned that they were about to run out of people to sponsor. It doesn't happen, folks. It's not realistic. The real problem is when a recruiter does not disclose to the person being recruited the complete understanding regarding exponential growth, the 100% per period compounding, and the inherent human success factor that should be presented when the concept of 2 who gets 2 who gets 2 who gets 2 who gets 2 ad infinitum is explained, because otherwise it is deceptive. The naysayers also use this same flawed reasoning to their advantage, as they claim that recruiting should be illegal, are equally deceptive when they also fail to provide full disclosure. More full disclosure and leverage in business. Understanding exponential growth is crucial, as it forms the backbone of many capital-raising and community-based initiatives. However, full disclosure is what sets Barnaje apart, and what makes Barnaje lawful under common law and legally compliant under SEC and FTC regulations. Recruitment operates on the principle of leverage, much like it does in traditional business. Anytime a business owner hires an employee, they are using leverage. Even when a sole proprietor hires just one employee, they are using 100% leverage, and the entire business world uses massive leverage big time. As John D. Rockefeller famously said, I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. This principle applies in Barnaje, where members benefit from community contributions. However, in any model based on recruitment, we must also account for the success factor, which acknowledges the human limitations of growth. In MLM and business marketing structures, growth never follows in perfect 2x2 matrix formation beyond a few levels. Despite this, Barnaje allows for success through the Barnaje Stairway donation plan, which offers various avenues for members to receive donations based on performance, even without perfect exponential growth. Okay, we're getting deeper and deeper into this. The success factor and realistic expectations. To better understand this, let's explore the two-wide force matrix structure. This model demonstrates the difference between unrealistic hypothetical growth and realistic common sense outcomes. I personally have been involved in full or part-time network marketing, MLMs, affiliate programs, and online marketing for over 65 years. I first joined Amway as an 18-year-old, just out of high school, in the same year that the company opened its doors. And since 1959, I have participated in dozens of additional MLM companies, sometimes failing, but also achieving 1% top-tier success in several. In 2004, I founded and launched a business called We Share Crowdfunding. It grew to 121,000 members in over 60 countries within 18 months. And despite this success, I've never seen any downline of any organization, including what we did in We Share, grow perfectly in a two who get two matrix beyond 10 levels. Let's revisit the chart above. By level 10, there would be 512 members, assuming that all previous levels were built perfectly. To maintain this pattern, those 512 members would each need to recruit 2 more members, creating a total of 1,024 new recruits on level 11. As you can imagine, the probability of sustaining perfect exponential growth becomes more difficult as you move down each level. Number 1 here, you recruit 2 members. That's easy, highly probable. Your 2 recruit 4 members. That's 2 each for them. That's still achievable, but a little more challenging. Your 8, that's on your second level, recruit 16 members. The success rate begins to drop significantly. And by the time you get down to your 7th floor, you're 64 trying to recruit 128 members. The odds of completing that matrix perfectly is extremely low. This decline continues with each level, and building a perfect matrix beyond 10 becomes nearly impossible. However, Barnaje is structured to succeed when perfection is not achieved. Building a perfect matrix versus realistic outcomes. Let's break down this process using the Barnaje Stairway donation plan. Even when considering the success factor, Barnaje's structure allows for significant success, even though not perfect. Okay. This is you. Let's suppose you're doing this and you sponsor A and B. They put them on your first floor, and your 2 each do what? They get C and D. B gets C and F. So that puts 2 people under each of them and 4 people on your second floor. Okay, that's easy enough to understand. This is how a matrix is structured. This places 4 people on your second level. Doubling this number results in 8 people on your third level. 16 people on your 4th, and so on. By level 7, you would have 128 people if everyone performed perfectly and recruited their 2. You would have a perfect matrix of 254 members. Building a perfect matrix with Barnaje is a worthy goal. and there is no time limit. It may take months or even years to achieve this level of success. And while a few may achieve it, the reality is that most will not. And that's where the success factor comes into play. But Barnaje has built in mechanisms that account for this and still allow for members to succeed amazingly well without perfect success. Here's the plan. To further explain, let's look at the Barnaje Stairway donation plan. Let's insert a realistic success factor. Another way to look at that is the failure factor. At what rate do people fail to perform like they say they're going to do? I like it to be positive. I call it the success factor, and show that one doesn't have to build a perfect matrix to have an extremely successful experience with Barnaje. Let's assume you are focused and committed and you quickly sponsor 2 members. Members A and B are placed on the first floor below you, and they each send you $350 donation for the first 3 steps on the first floor. Remember, thanks to the smart contract and the technology in place, all donations are sent instantly peer-to-peer from the donor's wallet directly to your USDT wallet. 0% of the donation goes to any third party or to Barnaje. Donations do not flow up to early leaders or to Barnaje. Otherwise, it might be labeled a Ponzi or an illegal pyramid scheme. Barnaje is transparent regarding distribution of donations. Okay, let's look at the little graph down here below. You got 1 period, 1 person potential, 1 person actual. The rate is 2. He gets his 2. It's accumulation of 2. Two donations of $350 each equals $700 or 700 USDT, and the success ratio is 100%. That's easy, first level. Now let's add a second one to it. Now let's say members A and B are equally focused, and they sponsor their 2 people who were placed on the first floor. Members C and D and E and F, remember that from the previous, each send their $350 donation to the 4th floor above them. That goes to their sponsor. Note that 350, those 350s don't go to you. It goes to 1 person only. However, those members, which are those 4 members, C, D, E, and F, still fill the 4 positions on your 2nd floor. So now let's look at the 2nd floor. 2nd floor, you got 2 people recruiting 4. That's A, C, D, and E. Okay, they get 4. Now, what do we have? We have 2 people here, 4 people here. Or a total, this is the total accumulated people in your organization. That's 6 people. Now these people are going to donate. These 4 people donate a total. These are 2nd floor donations. They donate $650 each. That's 4 donations. That's $2,600. Where does that go? It goes to you. You. That's 100% success. These charts show the potential donations you may receive for each of the 7 floors. Okay, this only shows the 2, but it works the same. So when members C, D, E, and F are ready to make their 2nd floor donations, they send them, and they send them to you, right? And the same pattern continues for all 7 floors. You receive 4th floor donations from members 4 floors below you. You receive 5th floor donations from members 5 floors below you, and so on. Common sense with the success factor. Let's consider the impact of the success factor. The 4 members on your 2nd floor may not recruit as actively as you do, or your 2 that you brought in. Let's say they each sponsor an average of only 1.5, not 2, only 1.5. Okay, instead of their goal of sponsoring 2, this results in only 6 new members joining and filling 6 of the 8 positions on the 3rd floor. When these 6 members make their 3rd floor donations, you still receive $2,100 in donations from each one of them, or times 6, that's a total of 12,600 USDT. That's at 70% success. Okay, let's look at it here. Okay, here's the first 2 again. Here's the 3rd. You got 4 people potential. 4 people actually recruiting, but they only recruit 1.5, not 2. But they still bring in 6 people. Or no, they still bring in, they bring in 6 people. So our total accumulated is 12 now. You got 2, now you got 6, now you have 12 people in your organization, and these people donate $2,100 each, times 6 of them, that's $12,600, even at a 75% success ratio. Now, the ratio is going to drop dramatically as we go on. I'm not going to show it in this chart, but I'm going to show it here. The 6 members on your 3rd floor sponsor only 1.3 members on average, resulting in 7.8 members on your 4th floor. The 7.8 members don't do near as well. They only get 1.1 member each, but it still adds 8.6 new members on the 5th floor. The 8.6 recruit less than 1 each. That's 0.9% each, but it still results in 7.7 members on the 6th floor. And finally, those 7.7 members do the same, and they only get 6.2 members. But let's look at what the results are. Okay. While the decline in numbers may seem steep, it's important to remember that you could still receive donations from 6.2 members out of the possible 128 on your 7th floor. That's only 4.8. That's less than 5% success on your 7th floor. But look what you can still do with it. With a donation of $12,500 per 7th floor member, receiving contributions from only 6.2 members would still amount to $77,500 USDT. This significant payout highlights how even a relatively small percentage of active participants can generate substantial donations, proving the effectiveness of the Barnaje model. All right, so here we are. Here's a summary of it. 700, 2,600. These are the potential donations that can come to you from this many people donating. And this is how much they donate. And this shows the relative success ratio. Here we pick up at 14. And what's the success ratio? I'm just assuming it's an average success ratio, but the rest of it is 1.2 people. But this shows how many people are getting recruited each period. This is what your total organization looks like. You got 123 people on the 15th floor, 145, 201, 238, clear down to the 32nd floor. Instead of having 8.5 billion people down there, which was the theoretical hogwash, you might have 2,375 people who collectively donated, there it is, to potentially, not guaranteed, but you could get as much as $238,727 in donations. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I would consider amazing success. Maximizing your potential. This example offers a realistic outlook of how success is highly probable within Barnaje. And in the spirit of full disclosure, in the chart above, with a success ratio of only slightly more than 5% and only 42 members within your 7th floor community, that can send you donations, you can receive $238,000 or USDT. That's success, folks. And based on 32 levels, you still only have 2,375 members in your entire 32 level community build instead of the 8.5 billion. While hardworking, dedicated members will achieve greater success than this, many may not reach this level. And that's the full disclosure to you. It's all up to you. Remember, the Stairway donation plan discussed here so far represents less than 25% of all possible donations you could receive. We're only talking, what we talked about so far represents only 25% of the possibility. The other 75% comes from the 50% first and second generation matching donations. I haven't talked about it. I'm not going to talk about it now. That will be thoroughly explained for you that want to move forward in the Barnaje's daily overview presentations by professional presenters. Okay? Now we're at the end of this. Summary. The most essential element of all laws dealing with financial matters is the requirement that each member provides full disclosure in all their dealings and avoid fraudulent or deceptive practices. Barnaje embraces this principle, creating a transparent performance-based system where participants voluntarily support one another. As you evaluate Barnaje, it's important to understand that success within this system depends on personal effort, active participation, and a commitment to community values. By joining Barnaje, you are becoming part of a sustainable, legally compliant model that draws on the ancient tradition of barn raising, offering a modern solution for capital raising without the dependency on constant personal recruitment or deceptive financial promises. Key takeaways, folks. Just walk through this with me. Full disclosure. Barnaje operates with full disclosure, ensuring participants understand both the risks and the rewards. Success depends entirely on your personal effort and active participation. The platform is designed for community-driven capital raising with no reliance on product sales or recruitment commissions. The system is rooted in the ancient practice of barn raising, emphasizing mutual support and long-term sustainability over long-term gains. The one-time donation of $350 is a voluntary contribution given without expectation of direct return from the sponsor. Legal compliance. Barnaje has made every effort to be fully compliant with common law and U.S. financial regulations, ensuring a lawful and transparent operations. All donations are tracked using blockchain technology, ensuring trust and security. No fees or hidden costs. Barnaje charges no fees, and all donations are sent directly peer-to-peer without intermediaries. Sustainability. Barnaje does not rely on constant recruitment. Even with the success factor, donations and participation sustain the system. And the last, this is really the best, educational opportunities. New members are encouraged to attend our many, many educational sessions and ask questions to ensure they fully understand the system before committing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please go back now to the person that referred you to this video. Thank you.